Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining in and listening in to my psychological concept on how to improve people's lives. My name is Devin Dabney. I am a student here at Eastern Kentucky University. I am graduating with a degree in psychology, and I am also an active member of the Psychology Club, which I would highly advise joining or involving yourself in any organization on campus. I find that highly beneficial in the long run. But let's get into it. I'd like to talk to you all today about a common problem in today's society and how psychology can fix that problem. So, today we're looking at sleep deprivation and how this affects university college students. Now, when we look into this, we say, okay, 6 to 8 hours of sleep, that's an appropriate amount of time to get a well night's rest. So, that's just, there are other determining factors that go into it. So, okay, age, health, this all plays a part, but we use 6 to 8 hours as a safe guideline to say this is a full night's rest. Get this much so you can perform at your best. So, picture this. I have a couple college students, one on the cognitive side and another on the physical side. So let me tell you how this plays out. So two students study for an exam. One student stays up all night, studies for the exam, doesn't get any sleep. The other student stays up all he doesn't stay up all night, but he studies the night before, gets 7 hours of sleep, and they both go in to take the same exam. Who's going to do better? Or we can look at the physical side and say, okay, we have two football students. One student stays up all night to watch film and doesn't get a lot of sleep. Another one of his athlete friends, he gets enough sleep, at least let's just say 8 to 9 hours to be safe. He gets plenty enough sleep, and he goes in. They both go in to play the same game tomorrow. Who's going to come out on top? So that's what we're looking at today. We want to measure both cognitive and physical abilities of these students. So we go to look at a 2015 study. This study is called "The Effects of Sleep Deprivation on Cognitive and Physical Performance in University Students." And the authors of this study, they have extensive backgrounds in medicine, medical education research, units of sleep and breathing units, and faculty of medicine. So in this study, we look at 64 students, and these students were randomly recruited throughout the Imperial College in London. And both groups, oh, I'm sorry, this group of students, they're split into two groups. One's the group that is able to get sleep. The other group is a sleep deprived group. So in the sleep deprived group, they have to check in every 45 minutes just for one night's rest. So they're not measuring night after night after night. They're measuring a one night's rest, who's going to perform better. And so the sleep deprived group has to check in every 45 minutes for that night and say, hey, I'm awake, you know, uh, I'm able to do this study. There were a couple students that didn't make that cut line, which is fine. Not every study is perfect, but the so the author split them into two groups. So now we go on to look at how they measure these groups. So they use cognitive tests. So for the cognitive test, they use assignment games for memory. So they use repeating a random sequence of colors and sounds. They use the Stroop test. They repeated this 3 times. There were 4 versions of each test were used, so no participant used the same test twice. On the physical side, they performed 2 concordant volume time spirometry traces. So each one was an 8-minute cardiopulmonary exercise testing, and they also used a reaction time using a ruler. So for the pulmonary test, they use that to test the heart rate of the sleep deprived group and the normal group and how they each measured up to each other. And then on the physical, as well as the physical side, they used a reaction time. So they dropped a ruler and timed it each time to see, who was quicker in the reaction. So in the results, we see that, you know, only 57% of the students complete the study. Participants reported that typically, 5 to 9 hours of sleep per night is appropriate. So as we look at the results, there were no significant differences between the normal sleep and the sleep deprived group. If there was a change, it was a very very small change, a 3%, a p-value of 0.03% change and that was just a determining factor of how fit they were. So when we go in to look at the study, I want to say that you know there are some takeaway points from this. Although there were no significant changes in the study, we have to look at the sleep deprived group and the increase in reaction time. So there was no significant difference between either groups except for the reaction time. So with the reaction time, we have a 52% increase, and these were from the student athletes of the group. So they had a larger advantage in reaction time because they were more fit. Now, this plays a part because we want to look at having a normal night's sleep is important, but we also want to take in the other health benefits to improve our lives, such as food, drink intake, exercise, and refraining from alcohol consumption and drug intake as well. So, as we look at these results, we want to say, okay, we want to make our lives healthier, but sleep deprivation isn't the only thing that is a problem. We want to involve everything else that comes with sleep deprivation, so the health benefits as well. I hope you found this information helpful and that you can apply this to everyday life. Thank you and have a great evening.